In this video, I'm going to show you how I changed the battery in an Enteralite Infinity feeding pump. These are very expensive to have professionally repaired from the factory. They don't sell replacement batteries. You have to send the unit back and have it have the battery changed at the factory, and it's very expensive. So I thought surely there was a way to get one of these open and change that battery. My first attempt to open one of these was on this unit, and finally found some screws for opening underneath this plastic label here. If you work at it, you can find an edge to this, and you can lift that and start to peel this plastic up. But you can see in my case here, if I get the lighting right, you can see where it tore in a number of places. It didn't all come up neatly. But that is one way to get access. You can peel that off and get access to some screws on the back. Another way to do that, which I did on this unit, is I knew after having done that one where the screws were, and so I just took a razor knife and cut around the spots where the screws are. And you can see right here, there are 5 of them. One here, 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 and here. Some of them are right by the edge where you see a little curve in the plastic. You can tell where they are. Some of them you kind of have to know where it is, but you can probably get close to that just by looking at my unit here and where it is next to the printing on the label. And you can cut around those, take those screws out. They are Torx screws, so you need a Torx wrench, but this is what these guys look like. They'll come out pretty easily with a Torx wrench. And then you have to get the unit open. I've seen one person who took a screwdriver and pried right here. I didn't know that when I have done it, and I finally resorted to taking a razor knife like this and coming up under the edge of that blue and just kind of loosening it there. I thought it was sealed, perhaps. Maybe it's not. You might be able to just pry this open, but it worked for me to just go all the way around with a razor knife, loosen that up. And then if you work hard enough, it's not necessarily easy, but if you work hard enough, it'll come right apart. Okay, when you open it up, you'll find the battery right here. It's got a protective foam over it, and it plugs in right here. So this plug pulls straight out. You don't need to push any tabs or anything. It's kind of hard. I've got this one loose, but it comes right out. And now your battery is basically just sitting. It's a little bit sticky maybe, but basically sitting in there with this foam wrapped around it. And that's the battery. Okay. I thought I'll just find a replacement battery like this and buy it online and be good to go. So I did a lot of looking with the part numbers that are on here, and I could not find an exact replacement, and I certainly couldn't find one that had 3 wires. But I did find one that looked pretty close, and I'll supply some information later. But I found this on Amazon. I got a box of 2 of these for $10. So that's pretty cheap. I just looked recently, and it's $20 now, so it might be a little more than 5 a piece, which is what I paid. But the key being, this is a 3.7 volt lithium battery. That's what the original is, 3.7 volt lithium. These are the same size. It's a pretty standard cell size, 3.7 volt. And then you need to know the power that the battery provides, and this original is, if you look on here, is 2,500 milliamps, or about 9 watt hours, milliamp hours, I should say, 2,500 milliamp hours. This unit that I bought is the 3.7 volt lithium ion, but it happens to be 2,600 instead of 2,500 milliamp hours. Not a big deal. Should be able to provide just a little bit more. But if you can find a battery that's close, that seems like that should work. So my plan was, because this is a different connector, it does have the 3 wires, and that was a hard thing to find. You'll find a lot of cells with just 2 wires, just the positive and the negative. This has 3, and I found a 3-wire one and thought maybe this will work. So I basically cut this connector off the end here so I could get to that connector, and I cut this connector off and I spliced the old connector onto the new battery, and I plugged it into the unit, and it powered up and it ran, and it actually would run the pump, but it wouldn't recharge. When it got the battery ran out and you plugged in the charger, it would not take a charge. And so I determined that that must be something to do with this 3rd wire in here, and that's, I believe, what the issue is. That 3rd wire is part of a sensing circuit that some lithium-ion batteries have that sense the temperature of the battery while you're charging, and if it's not in a good range, a temperature range, then it can shut the charger down. So I believe that when I put this battery in, it has a different circuit than the original battery, and because of that, the charging circuit in the pump didn't like it. Looked like thought it was overheating or something, and it wouldn't charge. So I thought I was stumped because I just couldn't find an exact replacement battery. But in the end, I decided to tear into this battery and just cut this plastic stuff off of this one and of the original one from the unit. And both of them have a little circuit board. Here you can see right here that the 3 wires are connected to a circuit board under the plastic there. And here's what that board looks like if you take it out. Here's the 3 wires and the little circuit board that match what's inside of this battery plastic. So it's very easy with a little razor knife to just cut that stuff off. And what you'll find is that circuit board is connected to both the negative end of the battery, and then there'll be a piece of metal that runs up and connects. You can kind of see it underneath here, connects up to the positive end. So from the positive end, connects to this board, and then to the negative end, connects to the negative end of this battery. And then 3 wires come off of that, okay? So I took this out of the new battery, threw it away, and I took the little strip, which you can't see here, but there's a similar little circuit strip on circuit board on the old battery. I cut that off the 2 ends, took it out, and I used it and attached it or hooked it up to the new battery, soldered it to the 2 ends of the new battery, and then just wrapped black electrical tape around it and put it in, and that made things work. The pump will run properly, and when the battery runs down, you plug in the charger and it will charge up. I can't promise or guarantee you that it's perfect replacement. Perhaps that circuit board, the new one for this battery, is a little different than the circuit board in this battery. But my guess is there's not much different because it's a pretty standard lithium-ion cell, 3.7 volt, 2500 milliamp hours. And probably the temperature sense needs to be about the same. So it probably didn't matter which board. So what you can do is find an appropriate board like this or replacement battery. Take the old battery out, and you have to peel this foam off. Cut into it, get the little circuit board. I can maybe show you on here a little bit of it. You can tell that it's under that plastic. Get that circuit board out and cut it off the positive and in the negative ends of the battery, and you'll have this original plug and wires going to that board. And so take that plug and wires and board and solder it onto the new battery with this part taken off, and wrap it up with some electrical tape, stick it in. You seem to be good to go. I will provide some pictures of what these parts look like, what this looks like inside. I took some pictures. I'll show you that in the video here in a second. And I will provide some information about this battery that I chose, though you probably can get just about any 3.7 volt, 2500 milliamp or so, milliamp hour battery or so, and make use of that. Even if it doesn't have the 3-wire, you can probably mount this circuit board, the sensing circuit board from the old battery, onto any new cell like this. You just need it to be the same size. And just for that, we can see right here that this battery is about just a little over 2.5 inches. It's probably in millimeters. And it is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So that'll get you perhaps the right size cell. I will post some information along with this video. Hopefully you find that helpful and you can get things going for a fraction of the cost of what it would cost you to have it done professionally.